it's something that we're. I don't put a lot of, as you guys know, I don't put a lot of stock in those types of things. We still have to go play and play a good football team, on Sunday. So, I just gotta make sure our guys are in the right, mind space this week and ready for this football team, because you just put on the tape and really what they've done here in the last month. They're playing pretty good, even though they've lost a couple close ones. But that's something that I think the coaches may talk about, but I don't mention that with the
So
players.
you won't consider this at all meaningless? I'm sorry.
Not at all.
Okay. So there's no chance of you guys resting anybody or anything?
This is never a meaningless game. Never, ever, ever, ever. You play to win every game. The only way I rest players is if they're hurt and can't go.
I'm following that up. On Monday, guys in the locker room all pointed to the Detroit game as the reason why they were going to be dialed in on this one and not overlooking the Texans. They all said they learned something from that Lions loss. Do you see it as that way from them? Do you see that from the team?
I think you can learn a lot from wins and losses. I think that was one that was kind of a wake-up call for us. Because it was on the road. We were in a dome. We were, obviously it was cold weather there in Detroit. It's supposed to be, 80 degrees in Houston. But look, it's an AFC South opponent, and they beat us in Week 5. So, we've got to have a great week of preparation, and we understand that, and still got some unfinished business.
Is there anybody hurt who you said you rest guys who are injured? Is there anybody who's injured who falls into that category?
Not at this time. No, I think everybody will be in a position to play that can play. Yeah.
You signed a long snapper to the practice squad. Is that just sort of insurance purposes for Ross, just in case?
Yeah, and and Ross has had some back spasms recently, so we just want to make sure that we've got everything protected, and Ross will be fine, for the game. We're not worried about that. He played last Thursday. It was a little bit tight and spasmed up on him last Thursday, and he battled through it, did a nice job. But it just kind of gives us a little protection there.
How close is Trayvon Walker?
He's close. Today will be a big day. As will each day this week as we get closer to game time.
With a young team as opposed to a veteran team, would you handle this week any different if it was a more veteran kind of group?
Not at all. Full steam ahead. AFC South opponent. Great opponent. Again, team that beat us in Week 5, and just focused on putting a good week of preparation in.
What's changed about the Texans since you guys last played them?
I think there's been a little bit of injury on defense. The offense is, you're seeing Driscoll a little bit more playing quarterback into the kind of the RPO zone read world, and running the football with him and all of that. But they've dialed back a little bit of their pressure on defense, and it's a sound football team. I look at them on defense, and they're a top 10 team in takeaways. They've played the Cowboys, the Chiefs, obviously, beat Tennessee. They've played well this last month of the season. So, good football team, and again, well coached, disciplined, and they do things right.
Does that two-quarterback system they've been doing actually make it more difficult? I think last week they were having both guys out on the field some at times. How does that make it more challenging for a defense?
Yeah, it can. And that's why we have to have a good week of preparation and understanding what they're trying to get done. I just go back to last Thursday, when they made the quarterback change, and it was kind of a sudden change for us, and it sparked their offense when he got going. So, we got to be aware of it, be prepared for it, and handle it the right way.
How were the cheesesteaks? The cheesesteaks you guys got from all?
Oh, they were pretty good. Yeah, they were pretty good.
Shifting gears there really quick.
Yeah, that was a curveball. It's like, what?
Did you actually eat them?
Yeah. Why wouldn't I eat them?
Did you send a note back to call somebody?
No.
Say thank you? You don't send a thank you note?
Just said thanks,
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Was that kind of cool, funny? What was your reaction when they got here?
It was great because we were all hungry and starving, and we needed something to eat that day. But, listen, we were just trying to win a football game, honestly. And I know the implications for, for the Eagles at the time, and they're obviously, battling, the Cowboys, I think, for that division and everything now. So it was just a great win for us, quite honestly. And our guys played extremely well in that game, and just something to, I guess, just commemorate the win.
Trevor talked about that London game being the thing that kind of flipped the switch a little bit for him. Could you feel that in the practice the next week? Could you see it? Anything that kind of gave you a hint that, yeah, he had, looking back?
I think it didn't really manifest till the next game, right? The next week. And it just slowly got better and better and better with him, and then you did see it in practice, the way he practiced, the way he prepared, his focus, the attention to detail. If he wanted to play over again, I let him do it over again so he can make a throw or, do something else with the football. But that's, sometimes it takes that, right? It takes a game, a play, something to spark your team or spark a player into playing better. And I think really at that point, I think we all, took that one, pretty hard from the standpoint of we all need to do a little bit better, and he was no different.
So was his level of preparation focus not good enough the first part, or was it just?
No, I don't think it was that. I don't think it was that. I just think sometimes it just, I don't know. It doesn't. You kind of stay in the same mindset, or you kind of do the same things over and over. And there were turnovers in the first part of the season, right? And he had made some critical mistakes there. And I think just that particular play was just the final straw. It just said, okay, enough's enough. I've got to play better. And I think that's how he approached it, which has been great to see from a young player, obviously the leader and quarterback of your team, to be able to identify that and then obviously to fix it and move on.
So were you waiting for that moment for him?
Well, not to turn the ball over, but
But the flip, the switch.
yeah, I mean it's going to come. It's going to come at some point, right? It's going to come with him understanding our offense or situational football or the turnover giveaway deal. And it's it's going to come at some point, and for him it was that particular game.
Your 3 down defensive linemen played dominant early this season, and then it seemed like there was a lull there during that 5-game losing streak. They're back playing that well again, it seems. And what do you see from those guys, and how important have they been?
I think we've defensively the coaches have kind of put them in positions to just free up and rush, and jet up the field in passing, passing situations. We've done pretty well in the run game, but now it's a matter of just letting those guys go. There's a lot of talent there. You're seeing Devon, you're seeing Roy. The last couple of weeks have really good push in the interior of the pocket, and then you've seen Arden, you've seen Trayvon, and unfortunately Smoot, coming off, and Josh coming off the edge and making plays, or TE stunts, things of that nature. And I just think it's just allowed them to kind of free up and just play attack style of football up front.
Who replaces Smoot?
Well, KC will get more, Calebon will get more time. Obviously, Josh, Arden, we get Trayvon back, optimistic of that. So we've got those 4 guys that they're going to have to, fill that role.
Is Deshaun Dixon maybe a guy who's getting close to being able to help there?
It's possible. It's just so hard getting everybody up and active with some of the injuries that we do have and trying to make it all work. But, yeah, he's been doing well in practice. He's been elevated a couple times this season already, limited reps, but he's getting there.
Riley winning Player of the Week. And
Yeah.
just how much confidence has he earned these last couple of weeks?
A lot. I mean, that was tough conditions, a week ago to 4 out of 5 field goals and in those conditions was pretty impressive, and he's well deserved of that. He's just shown consistency, throughout the course of the year, and just keeps getting better, with every game.
You mentioned Chase on as a guy who might get a little bit more opportunity here. How hard have you seen him working, especially since he's come back from his injury?
He's worked extremely hard. He knows and he understands that, even with a healthy Smoot, his role was kind of a four-core, special teams player. And, he came back ready to attack that and be the best, teams player he could, and knowing he was going to have limited reps on defense. But now, now his focus can, sort of shift a little bit, towards the defense and really make an impact, in Smoot's absence. So this will be big. This will be big this week, next week, and if we continue on. But he's put himself in a position to do that.
Seems like he's been pretty diligent with his preparation. I mean, he's always in the locker room, got his iPad, looking at film and things like that.
I hope so. No, he has, really, he has. I mean, these guys do a great job, of preparing, and it's one of the things I keep sort of reiterating with them, the hard work and preparation, and part of that is study, and being able to take the iPads home and study them at home or here in the building. So, yeah, he's done a nice job and really put him in a good spot.
Took a little bit of a disruption from the normal because of the bowl game, going back over to the high school. Is that not a big deal at all? Just a blip for you guys?
You know what? It's not a big deal because we did it all of camp, and it's kind of interesting how we sort of started our season over there, and now we're here at the end of the year and going back over there and kind of reminiscent of training camp and whatnot. But we understand that Gator Bowl is going to be here every year, and once we get our new facility built, it won't be an issue. But these next couple of days, we'll go over there and it'll be fine.
How big's momentum this time of year? I mean, you don't want to lose that. You got to keep winning to kind of keep that rolling if you're going to head to where you'd like to go to. How big is that?
Well, yeah, you want to continue to play well. You want to continue to improve, each week, and that's where I think the leadership of your football team needs to step up and really, keep the guys focused and grounded. There are a lot of distractions around this week, with the bowl game and traveling a little bit to practice, and of course the holiday weekend coming up and stuff like that. But just staying focused and locked in on their job, this time of year, and they keep doing that, then we keep showing improvement, and we'll be okay.
I assume everybody made it back
From
Southwest Airlines, whatever it is, from the holidays, the long extended break.
Yeah, it's the reason why I get everybody together on Monday. Just for that reason, make sure everybody's back in town. Everybody does a great job handling their business that way, and that's a big part. That's a big part of this. When you start having success and you put yourself in these meaningful games at the end of the year, how the guys handle their business. That's a part of this whole process. They did a nice job.
Any concern at all that now the pressure's on this team, now that it took over the top spot, that how they'll react or handle it?
You kind of want it, honestly. You want it. You want to see how we're going to respond. And, coaches and players. And it just starts. It starts in practice. Starts today. But you worked hard to get in this position, and a lot of ups and downs. But you guys have seen the sort of the incremental progress throughout the course of the year, and that's why you play these games, and each game matters. And so, you want to see how the guys will respond in moments like this.
Coach, it's been a while, but with the season maybe extending, curious if Shaq Griffin, if he's able to come off IR or he's done for the year.
Yeah, we haven't discussed that yet. I know he's in the building and he's rehabbing and getting himself healthy right now, and that's the first thing. And as we get closer, those are all conversations we'll have. But right now there hasn't been any discussion yet.